All right. Yeah, we were just Phil and I were just chatting about mbabble and um, OODA loops, which I know nothing about yet, but I have a feeling I should go check it out. It sounds interesting, at least on the OODA loop thing.
Yeah, I was just curious if anybody has played around with I don't know if it's pronounced Mbabel or Mbabel. The GitHub README seems to indicate Mbabel.
No, never heard of it.
All right. So Lewis, Phil, Buhake, I will leave you guys on the agenda or the contributor list. So but feel free to add whatever you want to the minutes. Um, so I believe where we're at. The actually maybe I'll ask. I know we were discussing, I guess last week about the two different pull requests and the pull request four in particular being the one that sort of superseded some stuff. And um, Buhake, are you the one that might be able to shed light on where we're at on that then?
Yeah, so my pull request got closed, so we merged pull request 4 to LangChain.org. So LangChain CDI now is now with LangChain.
Cool.
Yeah, we still, I think the next best thing for LangChain will be to create a report to Maven Central, and so that it can be published to Maven repo.
So has anybody given this thing a try yet to make sure stuff uh work like loads, runs, works?
At the moment. I saw there was a bug that was logged. I haven't had time to look at it. I know it's a bug, but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, was that raised as an issue in LangChain CDI?
Uh, it's one of the features that LangChain added, and it's not working with with the new config that we've implemented. But yeah, that can be fixed. That's not a problem.
Okay. Yeah, I see that one from last week. The response format JSON schema, that's the one you mean?
Yeah, it's not triggering, but
Oh, okay. I assume that's like the structured output stuff. Okay. All right. So yeah, I guess two things then going on. So one would be trying to address that issue. Let me just copy that in. All right. And as far as, yeah, so I've been on the periphery of this. I would like to actually give it a try. So um, yeah, I need to get my hands dirty to actually kind of take next step. So that doesn't, I assume that doesn't break everything, but that's just one of the attributes that doesn't work at this point.
yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So if someone like myself wanted to um basically give this a try, um
you can pull the entire repo, build it, and then try the examples.
Yeah, I'm just looking. So go through the example directory basically, and
Yeah, you choose your flavor, your app server that you want,
okay.
and you're comfortable in, and then try from there. Ideally, it should work.
All right, cool. Say anybody can try it. Try it. Okay, and then Buhaki, you were saying at the beginning about that we wanted to try to we ought to start trying to get together the steps for building a repo.
Mm, well, no, the repo is simple. It's just a simple Maven package. Um, that should be done. That suffices. And then at the example, you just run based on your app server of choice. But
Right.
ideally, the next step will be to publish these packages to Maven Central.
Oh, okay. All right. So as the snapshots, I guess.
Well, either snapshot or as a main release. Because we've been Smora LLM, I think, has had like 5 or 6 major releases.
Right. Yeah, I guess this, I mean, I was just thinking snapshot from the perspective that this is our first
Yeah,
attempt at it
yeah,
before we consider anything ready for others to pick up.
yeah. And LangChain is now on version 1.1. So we'll have to try it out as well.
All right, and yeah, I haven't been involved in the setup of I guess the pipeline for this, and it's been quite a while since I've done any of the release steps on it. Buhaki, are you familiar with the usual setup for how we do that in MicroProfile for um, to
Uh,
to basically
uh,
go because I think that's normally like when we start to get into like release candidates and that kind of stuff, that's what we do is push stuff up into Maven Central.
yeah, no, I'm not familiar. I know Emmanuel used to do it. Uh,
Yeah, I've had other folks on my teams that I work with too that have done it, which is why I'm a little bit ignorant of the process.
yeah, I think there's a discussion with a team on LangChain um, with regard of publishing it with to the repo, um, like licensing concerns and all of that stuff. But I'm not too clued up to that. You'll speak to either who's the guy from Quarkus? There's also
Uh, do you mean Roberto? I don't think you mean Roberto. Bruno?
no, how do I see the people on the channel?
Oh, Emmanuel? Is that who you mean?
No.
Max?
Listed all the Quarkus people.
It was initially involved with. Wait, let me find the migration plan
Clement.
because I did write somewhere on the.
Max was on a few weeks ago, so I know like he's popped in.
Is Max the French speaking guy?
No, that would be probably Clement. Well, it could
Yeah,
be Clement. There's more than
yeah.
one French person.
Well, Clement is one. That's
Okay.
the name of
Yeah. So why were you looking for Clement? Sorry.
because he's part of the land chain team as well. So he will be more familiar with all the backend processes that happens.
Yeah, I know there's actually a process document in the MicroProfile docs for getting this stuff up into the appropriate place as well. So I
Yeah, but
think once we
then
get to that stage, we ought to make sure that we're following sort of um, the build pipeline in the way of publishing from the MicroProfile side.
yeah, but then this one will be this this publishing goes under the
Oh wait,
land,
because it's LangChain for J. Sorry, duh.
so it's no longer us.
Sorry, ignore me.
That's why I said you need to speak to
Yeah,
you
yeah,
some.
yeah. Sorry, I got my MicroProfile hat on too tight. Um, okay, yeah, that yeah makes more sense. Hmm.
Yeah, that's basically that for now on our side.
Okay, so given Clement, has Clement, let me just, I'm looking through he was on in April, so that's been a while. Um, we might want to reach out to Clement. I could reach out to Clement and see if he could join next week. See if would that be it'd be good to get him re-engaged if he can.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right. Stick that in my to-do list. All right. Anything else that we need to do?
No, but there's two things. One, we might think of retiring small Rye LLM, but not now, but somewhere we should have a hard deadline.
That would be a good Clement discussion too, probably, right?
Yeah, probably. And then two, I see Reza has been trying to create out an AI framework as well.
That's interesting.
So um, one I so isn't it like a good idea that he should either we contribute together with him or like he should, since we micro profile AI, raise it here and then we'll take it from there.
This was why I brought up the Spring framework in Babel, I think. So it seems to be, at a higher level than, like LangChain for J. It has things to help coordinate and orchestrate agents, not necessarily finite state machines, but well, they have an explanation and essentially are OODA loops, which I think are pretty, it's a great idea. It's something that, I've been thinking of. But it's I'd like to see what we could do from, I guess, not from the Spring perspective, but MicroProfile or Jakarta perspective.
Is the thing that Reza's doing um at all tied to Spring, or is it more
No,
generic?
I
No,
don't think he's I don't think I think everybody's at the exploratory stage to some extent,
Yeah,
to a great extent, actually. So, but no, I don't think his work is tied to Spring, and neither
Okay.
are everybody else's work here, I guess.
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically an AI framework for the Jakarta's uh, in the Jakarta space.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's relevant. All right.
Yeah. And then on our last discussion, I did open a issue with fault tolerance on LangChain CDI. Um, the links in last week's minutes. So there's still that issue that's still in discussion.
Okay. Yep, I see that from the last week. That's so is anything just bringing that up? I did see, and it sounded like a very good description you had, Buhake, from before on explaining the problem. Um, it looks like yeah, I actually did read the whole thing because it hasn't, nothing new since last week.
Yeah, they, yeah,
So I think you've identified the problem, but did anybody say they were going to do anything about it?
because that's the thing. I don't think I'm thinking maybe it's not relevant enough to raise it, but for me, it's an additional feature that we probably need to talk to the CDI team to look at because yeah, because we are reliant on figuring out how each implementation is doing fault tolerance
Right.
and not worried about the framework handling it automatically.
Yeah, I wasn't clear if Ladislav was. I I thought and this I'm trying to refresh from a week ago, but he sounded like he was answering from the perspective of doing this in CDI as opposed to doing something specific to fault tolerance.
Well, it's literally both because if we add that, like my idea was if we add a new kind of method on CDI, then everybody else who are implementing fault tolerance can just re-register themselves automatically. Then anybody that's building third-party extensions can say, "Ooh, if I got an interceptor, then use interception factory. Otherwise, just produce the bean as is." So it's an additional feature. It won't break the existing framework, but it can make life easier for everyone in the long run.
Right. Okay. But so far nobody is seeming to pick this up to actually do anything. Um, so is the next, yeah, I'm trying to think what the next step is on this, given we probably want the fault tolerance or the CDI folks to engage to try to help solve it.
Yeah, and probably the guys from CDI, like where does Gavin and his team, because they work mostly on the CDI side.
I don't know, Buhake, do you want to just follow on that thread to try and call out to the folks that you think might be instrumental in looking at solving it,
Cool, I can do that.
just to get try to get it moving again.
Yeah. That's fine, I can do that.
Okay.
Oh, it's in Babel or in Babel. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't think any of us know how to say it. All right. Anything else anyone wants to raise? Okay, so I'll reach out to Clement, see if get him to join us. Anyway, so I guess yeah, guess that's it.
Okay.
So thanks everyone.
Have a good weekend.
You too. See ya.
Bye. It's